Good evening, good afternoon, or good day, depending on when you're watching this video. Hello, family. How are y'all doing out there? I know I haven't done a video for a while, but we're going to discuss the topic at hand. We're going to talk about former President Trump and his rally that he had in Austin, Texas today, the outcome of that, and my connections with Trump. For those who have never heard of me or don't know of me, my name is Shirley Hussar. I am a person that appreciated, enjoyed, and wanted this administration to continue on, which is President Trump. Unfortunately, we live in a time of despair. We live in a time where gas is unbelievable. We live with inflation. We live with decisions, and we live with changes in our life outside of COVID. So I thought tonight we would discuss where is Trump going in the next 3 years? What is this about the midterms? Where does this affect our lives? And how are our lives affected by it? Make sure you click the like and subscribe button for those who follow me. I thank you so much for chiming in. You add value, you add energy, and you add a lot of insight to what's going on in this world today. So I wanted to kind of share a little bit about me and Trump. And then I want to share the rally. We're going to cut and do a review on the rally. So for those who didn't see the rally today, Trump did a rally in Austin, Texas. It's kind of hard to find. So I thought if I do a review, hopefully YouTube will let it stay up. We don't know. YouTube has its special choices in life. And I may be one they overlook. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Needless to say, let me begin. For those who don't know who I was the 2016 delegate for Donald J. Trump. And I made a world of difference. I was the first African American in U.S. history to announce with her sons on the platform at the RNC in Cleveland. And I was elated, I was excited, and I was honored that they chose me. My sons were with me, and that was a little shocking because we did not expect to be chosen. We did not expect to be in front of a platform of that magnitude. And we were just honored to participate in this. In this participation, I did not know I would be making U.S. history. To the left of the picture, right here in the black, is my youngest son, my middle son, and my older son. They were even able to stand behind me when I made the announcement for Trump. Before this new millennial movement of Trump and before Candace Owen and all these other stuff, there were people like me who really made a difference in trying to set a new tone for politics, a new ideology of communicating within the community. A lot of people don't know, if you look at this right here, this article, which is, can you believe it's a Joy Ann Reid article, where she says Black Republicans matter. That was before she went totally hardcore. She acknowledged that there were 18 Black delegates at the Republican convention. And then you click here for those, and I'll put this in the link so that you guys can see it. And then they talk about the percentages of Blacks. They did not think the Blacks had an impact on this country. But the people who you see here, and you'll see in this photo here and in the articles, these 18 Black delegates, and I think it was more like 2025, it was more than 18, but it wasn't that many more, really made a difference. And if you notice right here, that's your girl. Yes, that is me. That is me holding up the sign for Los Angeles. And I am the one that constantly talked about how Hillary Clinton called Black people super predators, and the media didn't know what to do with that.
Los Angeles, California, and entrepreneur and mother of three, Hussar grew disillusioned with Barack Obama after voting for him in 2008. What's he done for Black people? She says, Black people still get shot in the back and are still homeless and still can't get jobs. It's a mess. She doesn't feel Trump has been harsh on people of color, other than we don't need illegal immigrants, and blames Hillary Clinton for backing the mass incarceration of African Americans. Hussar believes Trump's business savvy will make him an amazing president. He's not a politician. He knows how to build things, how to build opportunity.
Again, this was 2016, 15, before President Trump was in office. Later on, if you scroll down, you'll see they'll talk about other people who were there, but your girl was first on the list. Um, Probably because I was the most impactful. And I'm not trying to brag. The reason I would say that because I was the only woman that was at this rally that showed that I was supportive not only for her family, but that my family was there as well. All those other people that you see, they were not there with their entire family. Their entire family wasn't featured. Their entire family wasn't interviewed the way that me and my children were. We were rushed around to many press at that time. And I had people later on saying, I remember you. I remember you and your sons. And I remember you guys so excited about Trump. And for those who say, well, Shirley, I don't remember that. There's so much controversy about Trump. I just want to understand that this man made a world of difference in this country for our people. Let me show you something else. Let's watch this real quick.
He sure did. When the California delegation made their announcement, the place went wild. Not just the Californians either. A lot of love for California in here for delivering 172 votes for Donald Trump.
California, 172 delegates with the following bound delegates. 172 Trump. Shirley, you're going.
We want Trump! We want Trump! We want Trump! Hold it down, California! Mr. Chairman! We want Trump! We want Trump! We want Trump! Hold on now. Mr. Chairman, my name is Shirley Hussar. I am the mother of 3 boys of the greater Los Angeles area. Mr. Chairman, it is so important that my sons, my 3 sons, have hope and opportunity for their future, that there are good jobs, and that there are families that need safety in their communities. Mr. Chairman, Donald Trump is the candidate that can provide for my boys and all Californians the hope and opportunity of the true American. That's why I am honored to stand before you today in behalf of the great state of California. California that is 100% rock solid. Pro-Trump delegation, and I am proud to place 172 votes to the nominee of the next president of these United States, Donald J. Trump. God bless you. God bless America. We want Trump. 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 We want Trump now. We want Trump now. We want Trump. We want Trump.
Pursuant to the announcement of the delegation and the rules of this convention, California, 172 votes, Trump.
Yes, and that was history. So fast forward to where we are today and what do we consist of and where are we going in this country. I think that's our main concern. It's because we have a president who's now in place who has kind of dismantled, right, what Trump has wanted to do, make America great again. Let's have a conversation about businesses and jobs. Let's do import instead of exporting, importing everything. Let's start developing as far as, when we talk about oil and crude oil here in America. And then here comes the president who caps all the oil off. Here comes the president who basically doesn't want to build in America. He wants to have more and more immigrants and migration movement continue through this country. One of the things that I continue to talk about, and if you walked through my old videos in the past, I constantly talked about immigrants and migrants and how they affect the community, especially the Black community. And I have to clarify this. People think that we hate immigrants. We don't hate immigrants. We don't like people who come here illegally, and come here as aliens, who come here and are dismantled, skillless people, and then replace African Americans who are in this country before 1619, okay? Who have displaced us. Government has allowed us to be displaced. You've seen my homeless videos and other things of that extension. Immigration is huge. And President Trump, was setting a standard and brought an awareness and an awakening that immigration was pertinent in how it affected our community. Fast forward to 2022. You guys can say, surely we know all that. You know all that because of the fact that you see the outcome of it. You're living it. Knowledge is one thing, but experience is even worse. Because we all knew that back then and we were trying to convey that message, but it didn't really matter because they saw it coming. They knew it was coming, but most people in our community did not. Let me show you something I thought was interesting. I found an article, and I am going to review the video, so we're going to talk about that. But I want you to see this. I did find this article. It was kind of like, hold on, let me let you hear what it had to say about Black men and immigrants.
How did the Black Civil Rights Movement impact immigration? The Civil Rights Movement not only desegregated the South, but also paved the way to desegregate our nation's borders, helping to enact the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, eliminating race-based quotas and ushering in a new era of immigration. FEB 15:2.
Now, the problem with immigration is they migrated off of the backs of African American descendants of slaves, because the civil rights movement was never about immigration. If you study Dr. King, he even talked about the poor whites that circumvented us, even the Jews who moved to the South in Tulsa and Alabama and Mississippi and to some of these, and Texas, some of these heavily oiled areas where they allocated money and rights to them. When we talk about migration and immigration and how they have misconstrued the civil rights movement. You guys need to research your homework on that. But I thought this one was interesting too.
1 in 10 Black people in the U.S. are immigrants. The number of Black immigrants living in the country reached 4.6 million in 2019, up from roughly 800,000 in 1980. This increase accounted for 19% of the growth in the overall Black population, which increased by 20 million during the same period.
Now, you know, it's interesting what they call Black. What the hell do you people call Black? Because now everyone is Black. That is a word that's now misconstrued, right? We know that we've heard enough Black people saying Black this, Black that, and Black ain't working. But what we're talking about is African Americans who are descendants of slaves, who are now finding out that their rights have been taken away, their opportunities have been taken away, and being transferred to this new group of people. We're seeing under this administration with the Ukrainians and the Russians and the wars that are going on, we're going to hear a reaction and a retaliation rising within the community. Now, this does not mean Black. This can be Black, white, or whatever. So I know a lot of people who are watching are not always Black, but they're also of other ethnic groups. Needless to say, let's move on and let's talk about the rally. Recently today, President Trump came to Austin, Texas, and he spoke at a tour, and he's on tour right now. He spoke regarding what this administration is doing and how it affects our lives. Today, I want to share with you, as a Trump supporter, as an advocate, as a delegate for Donald Trump, and I was a surrogate during the duration of his administration. I was asked to speak, and I was also on many White House calls and conversations. Today, I just want to let you know I still am an avid supporter for President Trump. And do I feel that at times they could have utilized people like me? Absolutely. But there are people who are shielded around President Trump that will not allow him to touch the ground. Touching the ground means people like me who are on the ground, boots on the ground, connected to the people, knowing the needs and the assets needed for a specific culture of people, which are descendants of slave children people. I say that because it's important that people understand that there are people in this country who think all blacks are the same, and we are not all the same. And I know I become repetitive on that, but it's not clarified in that. And the people who were supporting Trump back in 2016 that you saw in articles and rallies and things like that, we were just people who were desiring to see this man do well. We were out there and we put our names and our faces. And when people were saying, "Oh, you guys are crazy," they thought we were nuts. They called us names, and we took the blunt. None of them people like the Candace Owens and the rest of them who came later took the blunt that we did, and they exposed us. I mean, here I am with articles, and here's another
everything that they talk about.
Place that I spoke on. I used to speak on the Black Tea. It was the Black. What is this channel called? The Black Hollywood Live. And in 2015, I predicted that Trump would be president. And 2015, they laughed at me. Here I am. You know who he is, Corbett. And then there's other articles. But I wanted you to show so that you know my connection and my contribution. And I'm very grateful to have contributed that, and I have no regrets. But let's move forward. We have an administration that has dismantled all that we fought for, dismantled all that we believed in, and now we're dealing with this administration. Let's hear President Trump input on that dismantle, and I'll be stopping in between the videos to just get, a particular take on it. Okay, I'm gonna turn that music down because YouTube don't like you doing all that. So I'm gonna fast forward to where he's getting ready to speak. Here we go.
Where is Don? Come here, Don. Come here. You can't give that kind of a speech before I speak. They'll say the fathers are stiff. I don't want that kind of a speech. It's too good. Anyway. Great crowd. I'll tell you, he loves the country. You can see that enthusiasm for our country. That's what it's all about, right? Enthusiasm. And there's nowhere, speaking of enthusiasm, like Texas. I love Texas. Remember, they said it's going to be a very close race in Texas. It's going to be very close. So he's against God. He's against oil, he's against guns. And they said it was going to be close. I didn't think so, and it wasn't close. We won that race by a lot. But I'm thrilled to be back in the Lone Star State with thousands of hardworking American patriots who love our country, honor our history, and proudly salute our great American flag. I want to begin by thanking your terrific leaders here in Texas. They really are great leaders. They really are amazing people. Friends of mine, but they're warriors. Your governor, Greg Abbott, he's really worked hard. Your lieutenant governor, one of the greatest politicians I know. I've endorsed more people for this man. He tells me we have a great state senator. We have a great land commissioner who happens to be here. We have a great everything. Everything's always so great. And if they ever go against me, I call them up. I say, Dan Patrick, what the hell did you do? But your Lieutenant Governor, Dan Patrick, Dan, what a good man. His son, by the way, did a fantastic job as U.S. Attorney. We have a wonderful man who I think is one of the best in the country, one of the sharpest, and he's a fighter like no other. He's your Attorney General, Ken Paxton. Good. Thank you, Ken.
I'm letting this play because I want you to realize that Trump is really setting a tone for how he's playing chess right now. He's setting relationships with states that he know have to make huge impacts. He know California is a wash, okay? California is losing congressional seats, by the way. That's a whole other video that should be done. But they are not able to hold their congressional seats. And either Florida or Texas will be taking those congressional seats. When I hear people say about Texas, as Texas is turning blue, well, that's not the case. Texas is part of the South. And when you're dealing with the South, you're talking about foundational historical states that are very well implanted with conservatives, family values, land ownership, guns, God, and country. It's a different ideology than open up your life and let everybody be taken care of kind of liberal state. That's not the state of Texas. That's not the state of Florida, as you can see with DeSantis. Um, Trump, at this point in the game, knows that he is not going to be running for office tomorrow or next year or the year after, but he will be a strong component and the avid component for presidency when it comes to 2024. And I believe that because President Trump is the most powerful man right now in this country. I know many of you guys are going to shake your head. Come on, Shirley, you're just a fan. I am telling you, the more this country continues to have high gas, high food, high inflation, the more this country right now, moratoriums are being released and people cannot be able to find a place to stay. People are being kicked out because many cities and many towns are putting our people out on the street. You're going to see more and more displacement, disruption because of the understanding how this administration is being ran. You're seeing you're seeing a president who turns to the corner and shakes somebody's hand and ain't there. That plays a huge part in people's decision on how they're thinking. Let me fast forward to one of the main
landing,
points.
sir, in 1 hour. I said, we got to turn our lights off. I never saw anything like it. This thing, they had it closed. They had every light off. You couldn't see anything. But I went up with the pilots. These pilots, better looking than Tom Cruise. Okay?
Hold on. That's not the part. Hold on.
Your really name, and he introduced. They didn't necessarily like me because I didn't let them take advantage of it. Somebody said in Germany, the German leaders liked Barack Hussein Obama better. Of course they did. He gave them everything. I gave him nothing. I gave him nothing. No, I said you got to pay your bills. You know, all of what you see now with data, that's all because I made them pay their bills. They weren't paying. Out of the 28 countries at the time, 28 countries, 20 were deficient or delinquent. They weren't paying their bills. I said, you got to pay. One of the presidents stood up at a meeting with all 28. He said, sir, does that mean that if Russia were to attack us, you would not defend us? I said, you mean you haven't paid? That's right, sir. I would not defend you. I would not defend you. And the next day, billions and billions of dollars came in. Now, if I would have said, oh, no, of course, you know, the politically correct, oh, of course I defend you, you know, we have an obligation. No, they were totally deficient. I mean, the money, Germany was paying half what they were supposed to pay. But a lot of these countries, they were paying very little, almost nothing. And we were paying, I say 85, 90% to protect Europe, and then they took advantage of us on trade. And by the way, we have the same thing. So we're paying $40 billion, and they're paying almost nothing. Why aren't they paying something in terms of Ukraine?
Now stop. Now, you know, I know you guys gonna say whatever you think about this particular speech of his point of view on who pays what. This comes down to the ground, local, state, federal, right? Locally, we are impacted by people who come here because their countries are dismantled. We have to pay for them. Locally, we are paying higher gas. Locally, what they're not telling you is that in Ukraine, they provide a large wheat scale, wheat, WHEAT, wheat that you eat. And wheat and barley feeds our animals. That impacts our lives. Because America is not self-sufficient, because America, and that means these existing people in office, in Congress, in the House, all these people who've been in office for 30, 40, 50 years, they have literally mismanaged the country. They have literally not paid, allowed these other people to do their contribution of paying the bills. They've taken your tax dollars. Listen to what he's trying to understand. This has to deal with the inflation. This is what is part of his tour, to make people understand that their other countries were not doing their part of contribution. In order for the world to revolve the way that it does, we all contribute. But when America is the bulk of that contribution, when your tax dollars are the bulk of that contribution, it weakens the people. We, the people of the United States, are weakened under this administration. And what you're finding out is Russia and China are working together and they realize that weakness. President Trump is on a tour. He is revitalizing the people to let them know you realize the cost to live is high. And the reason the cost to live is high is because all these other people did not want to contribute any money towards that. And all the expenses that we do, the import, the export, we're doing all in other countries. We're not building here. We're not making here. Let's make things in America. When he said that at the very beginning of his campaign, many of you who may not be that way now, but many of you didn't support the ideology of things made in America, pencils, pens, little stupid stuff that you would think are made in America are not made here. And because of that, those millions of dollars in import export taxes affect us and the cost of living affect us. President Trump is making it very clear that you understand the impact of inflation is because of this administration who does not want to work in the people's best interest, but in foreign affairs best interest, which to me is a point of treason. I'm sorry the volume's so low. I was trying to turn it up, but you're gonna have to turn up your volume when it speaks because for some reason, C-SPAN is not did allow. Shout out to C-SPAN for allowing me to show this and do a review. But also, if you go to YouTube, you can't even find this video. But I wanted to make it clear that with this administration in place, everything that Trump did got reversed, and part of it didn't get reversed, and that's what President Trump is talking about here now. Let me back up just a little bit.
Let's do it. He said, I'll call you next week. And after less than 3 weeks, it's done. We took over the caliphate. We 100%. You remember when I said it's 98%? Remember when I said it's 98, 97? And I told, I announced it's 97%. We're bringing our great soldiers back home. And the press hit me. She didn't do 100%. I said, let Russia, Iran, Iraq, and the rest of them take care. We want to come home after 21 years. And I brought them all home, but we got it 100%. And General Raisin Kane was unbelievable. I'll tell you, he hit them all.
So, the interesting part, hold on, let me pause it again. And another interesting part about President Trump, being able to identify how foreign affairs issues affect us on a local level. Now, many of us just pay our bills. We go to work, we take care of our families, we pay our bills, but we're living the aftermath of the displacement of this man now not in office. And we know that. So the question you have to ask yourself, what's the next step? Because the midterms are coming up. Candidates are coming up. And you need to know who these candidates are and how they affect your life. And the only way you're going to know who they are is you're going to have to look them up. You're going state by state. Look at your state. Look what they have to say and move from there. Let me move up a little bit more in this video. Hold on.
President Gerald Ford, largest ship in the world, by the way, but it's a disaster.
Listen.
And I talked to them about the reasons, and a lot of reasons why it was so crazy. They've been building it for 7 years. In the old days during World War II, I don't know if you ever heard, we built a ship a day. Did you know that? This country built a ship a day. Tankers and this stuff, but we built a ship a day. Freighters. We knocked them out. Today, it's a different world, and we want to get back to where we can do that if we ever need it. But I said, what's wrong with this aircraft carrier? Because I've been reading about it, that it's way, way over cost. It was supposed to cost $3 billion. And they're doing quite well. It's at $18 billion, right? So I said, what's the story? Well, the catapult system, sir, doesn't work. I said, why? That's been good for years, steam. Well, we decided to use electric. I said, wait a minute, for years, you see all the planes get catapulted off the deck. It's a beautiful thing to watch, the steam, wow, and the plane gets thrown out there. Those pilots are the greatest. Top Gun, right? They're the greatest pilots. And they get thrown into the ocean and they just take off, and it's beautiful to watch. So I said, what's the problem? I mean, the electric catapults don't work. They never did electric before. I said, what else is a problem? Well, sir, the elevators that bring the planes, these are massive elevators. The elevators that bring the plane up, they're made out of magnets instead of hydraulic like a tractor. A hydraulic, you can hit it with a blowtorch. With these things, if I take a glass of water and drop it in the right spot, it's gone. You have to send to MIT to get the smartest professor.
Hold on, that's not the spot. I'm sorry,
We
people.
would love to put 28,000 soldiers free of charge onto your border to protect you from people pouring
Okay,
into
this
your
is the
country.
this is the spot. Hold on.
But it was costing us. We were protecting Saudi Arabia. They weren't paying. So he replied, very respectfully, but nobody has ever asked us for that. I said, that's why I'm different. I'm asking. And then,
Okay, so in this speech, again, I'm not going to play all of it because I'm going to do. This is a review. I want you to be conscious that under the administration of President Trump, he went ahead and he conversed with Foreign Affairs and told them they had to pay. They weren't used to paying. Okay, America has a lot of money. As you can see with COVID, the checks that they cut out. As you can see right now, this administration has given what over 13 billion plus. They need just another surplus towards Ukrainians. But then again, yet in America, we're not taken care of. I believe you're about to embark on a revolutionary war. I've said that before. I'm still standing behind it because what you're having here is a displacement under this current administration versus this administration who told these people, if you want us to work with this, you have to pay. And the other administration said, well, it's okay. So it makes you wonder, say, where's the loyalty with this administration? Is there any loyalty with this administration? Because obviously they are on an agenda, and their agenda is to continue to see a divisive movement within this country and us to have more immigrants migrate into this country. Very interesting.
they agreed to pay. This was easier than renting a middle-income apartment. And he's a good man, but they agreed to pay immediately. I said, look, it's costing us billions and billions of dollars to protect Saudi Arabia, and you have nothing but cash, and you have to pay. And he said, but I'll never forget it, but nobody has ever asked us to do that. That was his reason for not paying. And when I asked him, they pay. You don't get what you don't ask for, and you won't be treated fairly. And the interesting thing is I get along great with Saudi Arabia. I get along great with all these countries. Hey, look, they always say I was soft on Russia. I'm the one that terminated their pipeline. I'm the one that put sanctions on them. I'm the one that got NATO to pay $430 billion to protect against Russia. And then these horrible, horrible people say Trump was soft on Russia. I'll never forget Putin saying to me, you're killing me on the pipeline. I say, sorry, Vladimir, I have to do it. Think of it, I ended the pipeline. It was terminated. That was the biggest thing they ever did. They were going to get billions and billions of dollars a week. And I said, nope, it's over. And then Biden came in and he approved it. And by the way, he killed the Keystone Pipeline. How about that one? He did a little reversal. When Mexico refused to help secure the border and stop illegal immigration, I announced that I was putting a 5% tariff on all goods coming from Mexico. And then I said it goes to 10% the following, 15%, 20%, and then 25% the following week. And they said, we will never do these things. And as soon as they heard about the tariff, they said, we would love to do that. We would love to put 28,000 soldiers free of charge onto your border to protect you from people pouring into your country. It's true. I went to the State Department about that. I said to the State Department, a woman, very good woman, 25 years she dealt only with Mexico. I said, I want them to give us 28,000 soldiers to protect our border from people coming in because they're coming in through Mexico. And she laughed. And then I said, I want to stay in Mexico. You've been reading a lot about it. In other words, nobody can come into our country. They have to wait in Mexico. And if they get approved, which wasn't too often, if they get approved, hundreds of thousands of people.
And to today, I'm gonna stop the video right there. We are dealing with an immigration issue, right? We're dealing with the fact that we have an administration that is continually flooding people in. Shout out to President Trump. Thank him so much for coming to Austin because I think that he made a world of difference. They had a huge turnout. The media is not really covering that story. They don't want that story to be seen. But I know that it's important that we are able to discuss the movement of this country. I got a question I want to ask many of you. Where are you in this game? Do you see yourself behind or in front? Because of the way the tariffs are put in place and how money is not allocated to us like it used to be, the opportunities, the food is high, rent is high, people are moving out of from California to Texas. People are trying to leverage and find balance in their life. It's not easy. It really is not easy. People think it's always about black and white. It's not about black and white. It's really about the balance that you need to have economically to move yourself forward. But you're not going to be able to do that until you identify that we have a problem. And that problem, my family, is that we don't identify family. We don't identify kindred spirits. Sometimes in life, we think it's the birth family, right? The people that we were birthed under, our cousins and our aunts and our uncles. And that if those people think like I think, we can all work together. But sometimes this tree that's before you needs to be dismantled. And then you fill in the blanks. You put the pictures of the people that you want in your life. Because if you do that, you will financially do better. You can't surround yourself around people who just definitely don't want to move forward. You can't surround yourself around people who don't light up when you enter the room. That beautiful actor said that at the Tonys, and that was impactful to me because I think about the fact that we try to balance the scales in our life, but sometimes we put people in our midst that really don't help us, and they shackle us down with their ideologies and their viewpoints and how they think life should be. But unless you make a decision to walk away from the situation and to realize we're still going through having demands that we want regarding reparations, we're still having demands where we're looking back through history and see who we are about, we will not be able to move forward. The forward thinking people are the ones who work together, finding those kindred spirits, finding those leverages of life. So I want to talk about food, water, and shelter. I've told you before in the past how important it is to talk about food, water, and shelter because when you realize that those are the quintessential things that you need to move forward. And if you don't focus on food, water, and shelter, you're going to find yourself homeless. Now, why do we start with food? Well, food is talking about provisions and jobs and opportunity. If you realize you live in a state that does not work in your best interest, it is time for you to move. Why are you in a state that basically, as soon as you make some money, that money's out the door? That money's gone. You can't pay your bills, or you've got to work 2 or 3 jobs to pay those bills. How does that impactful? How does that impact and change your life if you say to yourself, "Oh, I want to do better. I'm going to get another job," but guess what? Your rent just went up. Your food just went up. When you go out and eat, it went up. It doesn't help you. But if you have a plan of action, you can do that. So, food, you need to think about moving because you're running out of money. How many of you guys watch this video right now and you know you're running out of money? You've only got so much in savings. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You have so much in savings and you realize I'm running out of money. I can't afford to live in California. I say California because you guys don't, I'm in California. It's my home state. But I also back and forth between California and Texas. I have a ranch in Texas and we keep working back and forth because it's like an underground railroad. I'm trying to save my people, trying to save my people. But as you know, they are giving a lot of money away in the state of California. And apparently, nobody really understands how there's so much divisive, billions of surplus going towards other issues that are not helping you. Again, food, water, and shelter. Let me show you this real quick. I want you to see. Here's an article. This came out, California, Gavin Newsom. Look at this. California, Gavin Newsom unveils historical $97.5 billion surplus. Okay, why are we creating a surplus? Oh, because the raising cost of food, gas, and other goods due to inflation. Now, how long have I been saying food, water, and shelter? Food, water, and shelter. It's like a broken machine. But listen to this. This part is just flabbergasting to me. How the fact that we have, hold on a second, a situation of a governor who's just giving all this money out.
Sacramento, California. California is entering the next budget year with a record-smashing surplus of nearly $100 billion, Governor Gavin Newsom said Friday. Newsom unveiled a revised budget plan of just over $300 billion for the next fiscal year, the highest in state history and fueled by surging tax revenues. The state has collected $55 billion more in taxes than officials expected in January, leaving it with an estimated $97.5 billion surplus. That means Newsom, a Democrat, has tens of billions of dollars more to spend on new and existing initiatives as he seeks re-election in the fall. He plans additional spending to tackle the ongoing drought, to help more women get abortions in California, and to offset rising costs of food, gas and other goods due to inflation. He'll have to reach agreement with the Democratic-led legislature on all of his proposals. They have until the end of June to finalize the budget, which takes effect July 1st. Newsom said one of his top budget priorities is providing Californians relief from inflation.
Now, we're talking about relief for inflation, but then we're talking about the rising cost of foods in the country. And why we got these rising costs of foods? Because you got all these immigrants coming here, and they've got to be taken care of. They've got to be housed. They've got to be fed. And so because of that, we have to offset our lifestyles for theirs. So what does all that mean, Shirley? We already know that. Okay, great. The first thing I told you was food. You need to think about the income that you bring in. Do you really know your own personal numbers, right? Because the more you know your numbers, the better you are. Do you understand the balances that you need to have as far as when we talk about travel, for when you go to the store or the market or gas? Sometimes you guys are going out 2-3 times at one time. You need to stop that. Stop that. Sit down and say, you know what? Gas, I just paid $6.89. I need to sit down and make one trip and one trip only. You're making a multiple trips to get somewhere, y'all need to cut that out. Number one. Number two, if you are renting, you need to own something. I can't afford to own. You can afford anything. Don't let nobody lie to you. Let me show you again. Another video. I'm gonna show you how to own a house with no money. You do need some money. But I want to show you a way. If you say I've got issues, I'm not able to qualify. I told you before, I want to see you be a homeowner. So I want to show you this. Food, water, and shelter. This is Divvy. Again, here's Divvy. Divvy is a company that will help you find a home and how to qualify and how it works. Let me explain this to you. This is how it works. This is a rent-to-own property. Here's a house. You like that house? You want to live in a house, right? Right now, the house or apartment that you live in, you cannot afford. So you say, I'm just going to keep paying rent. But it's not going towards anything. It's not going towards anything. You can't, can you write off? You don't even own it. But with Divvy, you have an option to purchase, to buy. It makes a world of difference. You fill out the application, and you could do to Divvy, or you could go through caltexashomes.com. I'll put that up so you can contact us. And we have a personal one-on-one agents that will sit down and talk with you and get you qualified. Once you're qualified, we find your dream home, and between 1% to 3% down, you can buy the home. It's really simple. It's really easy. Let me see if I can find hold on. I'm going to do this while I'm on here. Let's see if I can show you a quick video explaining how Divvy works. Here we go. This is
ready to own your own home, but struggling to qualify for a mortgage? We're Divvy, a new way to buy a home that actually works for people without perfect financial paths. With Divvy, you move into your dream home now, and we help you save up to buy it over time. Here's how it works. Step 1. Apply in minutes. It's fast, free, and won't impact your credit score. We'll verify the information you submit, and if you're approved, you'll be ready to shop for homes. Step 2. Find the home you love, and Divvy will buy it for you. You can choose from almost any home on the...
What? She said they will buy it for you. find the home you love. That's another thing. You find the home you love that you qualify for. Let me clarify that you qualify for, and they will buy it for you. So it's a rent to own, which is really nice. Divvy does not work in California. So if you live in California, came out of California, it's funny, the corporate office is in California, but they do work in the South. There's many homes in the South. Like you see right here, they're showing St. Louis, Georgia, Texas. You can buy a home.
Love, and Divvy will buy it for you. You can choose from almost any home on the market. Seriously, all you need is a 1 to 2% down payment. Step 3. Rent your Divvy home from us while we help you save up to buy it. Part of your payment every month will go straight into savings, so you don't have to worry about getting a down payment ready. And if you ever choose not to buy your Divvy home, those savings go straight back to you, minus a relisting fee. Step 4. Own your home. As soon as you're ready to qualify for a mortgage, you can buy your Divvy home from us. Divvy's program is designed to get you mortgage ready in 3 years, but you can buy it anytime. If you're ready early, it's all yours. No penalties. Why wait to live in a home you love? Get started with Divvy now.
Now, I'm a real estate agent. For those who may not know, I believe in that the opportunity for us is there if we take it. I believe that each one of you guys deserve to have the right to live in a home, to own a home. But if you're not making the effort to understanding to push yourself ahead of everybody else, you'll never get there. And the only way you're going to get there is you identify that there's opportunities through Divvy. Divvy is another one, and there's other ones out there, but we're talking about food, water, and shelter, right? Let me show you this. And of course, leverage. Right now, interest rates are on a high. They're moving up. Rates are going up on homes. Let me find something and show you this online. News. Hold on. It's one of these articles I was looking at. I don't want to show it unless I can find it first. And why? Hold on a second. Yeah, I like this one. Hold on.
So,
I want to show you one more video of this one brother. He did Divvy, and it worked for him as far as the opportunities. Well, let's hear what his perspective is. Hold on. And look, the FICO score on Divvy. Hold on. I know I see a little. The FICO score on Divvy. What was that at? Oops. Excuse me. Well, this. I'm gonna go back. So you guys see what I'm doing. Here we go. Because I know many of you guys will say, what is my FICO score? Then look, the FICO score is 580, 550. What the hell? You can own a house with 550? You below 550, go call a cousin. Maybe they co-sign for your ass. 550 with Divvy.
How do I qualify? We review each application individually, but there are a few requirements our team looks for when approving applications. Here are the things you'll need to qualify for Divvy. A FICO score of at least 550 asterisk. All applicants need to pass a soft credit check. This won't affect your credit score. We'll look at your FICO score, recent loan delinquencies, and any foreclosures or bankruptcies asterisk. In some cases, how do I qualify? We review each application individually, but there are a few requirements our team looks for when approving applications. Here are the things you'll need to qualify for.
You know, the interesting part to me is they even look at you with foreclosures. And minimum monthly household income of $2,500. You living in California? Minimum monthly household income of $2,500. Now you probably say, Shirley, what the hell you gonna get? Where you gonna live if you made less than $2,500? Well, you'd be surprised the houses that you see in the South. You'd be surprised how cheap these houses are in the South. Just in the South, they're cheap. 3 months of variable income, okay, verifiable income. If you can prove that you have a job For 3 months, we help you out. And then they do a slight background check, government ID, you got to be a U.S. citizen. And I just love this program. I'm going to love this program. I'm probably going to have somebody on my show on this program. I'm going to bring one of the realtors I work with out here in Texas, California realtors. I'm a Divvy agent, but I'm not able to use it in California. I don't think they're going to do California. I think California is just too high. But it's an opportunity to shift your family. Because if you don't think about how the family is today and how your life is impacted by all of this, I mean, when we think about the Black family, and I'm Black, when we think about the Black family, many families, their whole families are moving, right? The grandparents, the daughter, and the children. There's 3 generations here. And right now you're dealing with a movement of migration, of people moving in and out of this country. But we're talking about permanent foundational movements, where you guys can literally start saying, okay, hold on, I need to move somewhere. I want to show you another website. This is regarding housing, and this reverts to Trump, because Trump has been talking about migration movement. He's been talking about how these people have come in this country, and it's really sad. It's really, really sad to say that all these people are able to come really live a lifestyle where we can't afford it. Let me give you another site. This is one of my favorite sites that I go to. I don't share this one too often, but I think that it's important in case you want to know I can't afford it. Okay, here's Texas. Here's a bank-owned property, right? This property is 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. And it's $66,000. It's $66,000. You see that? Cash bid. Again, if the house is habitable, Divvy is opening to buy it. Here's another one in Texas, $44,000. And it's a piece of shit. I know it is, but I just want to show you the good, the bad, the ugly of some of these bank-owned properties. Let's say you have a big family. You say, sure, I got a pretty big family. Look at this bank-owned property. This is the bank-owned properties. This one here, it's in Texas, 2,800 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, $340,000. If I were you and I have that beautiful family that I just showed you earlier, African American family, I would move out. And the reason I would move out, because 3 incomes can manage a space this large. You can manage a space this large. Okay? If we were to go towards, what would we say, Georgia? Let's see if they'll look that one up. I'll do Alabama. Hold on. Let me show you some other parts. So let's say you say I want to move to Alabama. I want you to see what Alabama's offering. Here's another one for 40. This house is almost 3,000 square feet. Look at this house. This house is almost 3,000 square feet. It's in Alabama. Look at the price. Y'all need to get out of California. Just get out. Now, I grant you, it needs work. So, let's see the work that's involved. You must surely. But look, if you're able to get a loan, now, if this house is habitable, Divvy probably would fund it. But this is a cash-only deal. But there's other properties out there. But I'm just going to show you a variety. The other one was Divvy. You may be able to sell your home. You might be able to get some family members. Take a loan against your 401k, right? Take something against your pension. I mean, there's a lot of creative opportunities out there, and we work together. These houses need work. They're bank-owned. Of course, they need work. It's a mess, right? But guess what? Even at 5%, your payment's still gonna be like 49. Come on, it's gonna be next to nothing. $500. $500. And some of you guys say, Shirley, I don't want to do a fixer-upper. I need a fixed house. Okay, then let's just go on and go to Zillow. This is the new clone of the world. They're basically taking over realtors. Oh, God, they're going to make me ask all these stupid questions. And see if they'll let me look something up. Hold on, you guys. Okay, here we go. Let's do Texas. Okay, here's Texas. These are current properties in Texas. These are high-end properties in Texas. So let me tell you how this works. You have Central Texas, Northern Texas, and you have all of this area where Austin is. Okay, I would suggest you consider Central Texas. I would suggest any part of Texas outside of California. I do not agree with the border because the border's got some great deals, but there's some people crawling under the ground. So I'm not a big advocate for some of the deals on the borders. But some of you guys, if you're able to afford it, look here. Here's a house. $1 million would never get you this in California. Just wouldn't get it. Here's an example. Here's a house for sale, $1 million. Now we saw cheap house to crappy house to really nice house. This house is 56, almost 6,000 square feet, right? And look at this. It's a beautiful home. Beautiful home. What I'm trying to make you understand is that you guys need to put your money together. Maybe you and a cousin, you and an uncle. Because when we talk about what President Trump was trying to do was bring family back together. What President Trump was doing was uniting the country. That's what he was doing. But now we have administrations that have dismantled us. And it feels very civil war-ish. It seems like a revolutionary war that I get the feel of in this country. So I want to help my people. And that means anybody that follows and believes in what I have to say. I want you to do your own dang homework. I'm just giving you an opportunity to realize that there's deals all over. Here's another home. This one just got put on market. It says an hour. It's been up an hour. Okay. Look at this beautiful home. This home is 129,000 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths. Interest right now is about between 4 and 5%. Payment's going to be $500-$600 a month. Okay. Here's the bigger homes, you guys. For those who say I like the big, gorgeous homes, this one's 6,000 square feet. Right? It's got land with it. I believe y'all should get land. Why? Because the better you are with land, you could grow your own things. You can do your own things with the land. Look at this. Beautiful home. Beautiful home. I don't know about green. That's kind of different, huh? Really nice home, though. There's so many opportunities in the South. Let's look at, and you guys are saying, I've never been to the South. I'm scared. I don't know. I've never moved out of a state. Well, doggone it, don't be scared, because you're gonna be stressed the hell out. I'm showing you the little cheapy, crappy homes that people say, oh, they're little crappy homes. I don't think they're crappy. It's better than you living in that dang apartment. Better than you living in that apartment. You could own this home. Got a little land to it. Decent kitchen. Maybe it's not to your standard, but guess what? Payments be $500 a month. Corpus Christi, it's right on the water. Be careful about water properties in Texas. A lot of mosquitoes. Any kind of water, a lot of mosquitoes. I tend to move towards the central of the. Let's see. This is showing you Austin. I'm gonna get a little bit above Austin. My favorite part of town, I would say, closer to Killeen. Killeen is a beautiful city. Killeen is that city. This city right here. It has 40% African American people living there. Here's a beautiful house, 1,600 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, two. You can't beat this price. You're not going to get this in California. You're just not. They're not going to provide you. Trying to get this thing to click through. Here we go. They're not going to provide you with the square footage and the space where this could really make a difference in your life. Look at this house, beautiful home. You're not going to get that in California. So my question I want to ask my people, I want to ask you, why are you continually having to work 2 or 3 jobs to live in a state that I just showed you with Gavin Newsom that's raising the prices? He's raising the prices, and he really doesn't really make a difference in our community for our best interest, because he's not thinking about your best interest. He's thinking about his own. President Trump has a mission. And that mission that I can tell you that I've learned from him, just coming to office and hearing his speech, he's just keeping his feet in the water to have you remember who he is and how he made a difference, who he is and how he loves life. And I'm so grateful for many of you guys who've just been supporting me and following me. And I'm just so grateful. Carolyn, I think you reached out. I apologize. I'll try to touch base with you tomorrow. Make sure you email me. I have no problem for that. Make sure you go to the website. I gave all the information on that site. Oh my God. I'm telling you, you got to get out. Carolyn, you got to get out. Everybody's got to get out. We don't have any excuse as a people. We have to go back to our foundational roots. Okay, so I said food, water, and shelter, right? Thank you, Carolyn. I said food, water, and shelter. But I want you to understand, we as African American people, we as a people, as a culture, need to cultivate around people who have common sense and have like-minded spirits, kindred spirits. They have the same ideology and viewpoint that we do. Because that foreclosure marker is coming. That craziness is coming. What we saw before with the dismantle of people being able to do what they're doing to us is horrifically horrible. It's horrifically horrible, meaning what? We're going to start seeing foreclosures again. We're going to see good people put on the streets. Good people who not going to even see it coming. It might be you. It might be one of your family members. You don't even know it. The displacement is coming. Let me show you a displacement video of the real estate market that just got put out was it a day ago or May 11th. Again, another situation of our people being dismantled on the streets.
Out-of-state companies are buying homes across our area are being sold to people who don't actually live here. We've told you about the problems with out-of-state landlords for years, and tonight, one local lawmaker says that he really wants to do something about it. Evan Millward is in Coleraine with the plan, and why some actually wanted to go a little bit further. Out-of-state companies are buying homes in bulk here, often with cash. The Port tells me one company alone bought 1,700 homes in Hamilton County just in 2019. There are multiple companies like that, and that means in some cases tenants are forced out.
I'm the new homeless.
Judith Jones is trying to get what's left from her old house on Woolpert Avenue. She lost her job during the pandemic, got behind on rent, but then got help to pay it back. And then her landlord sold to a company with a New York City address. They told her they were going to flip the house and she had 30 days to get out.
The new homeless is when you're displaced, when you already have somewhere to go and you're already paying bills, but all of a sudden the big corporate companies come in and they take the home.
She sought help from Neighborhoods United.
We can't just live in a world where all of our homes become rental homes because some out-of-town rich investor can afford to purchase it, and that's what they're doing.
That group says it gets multiple calls each day from someone whose landlord sold and they're told to leave.
I think of this as the start of a conversation.
State Senator Louis Blessing III from Coleraine just introduced Senate Bill 334, which focuses on...
I am so sorry. Hold on. I do this every time. Oh, golly. What kind of host am I? Let me take this picture off. Okay, can y'all see? Let's see, let's try it again. That's why I double do my videos, because I don't have anybody telling me I'm not showing it. I'm gonna start it from the beginning. This is a recent story. This is a recent story. Okay, they are foreclosing, the moratorium is released. What does that mean? That means all these people who wasn't paying them on the mortgages are losing their homes, and these big corporate people came in and they stopped up the houses. Well, a lot of these people were investment properties. And because the tenants wasn't paying, I have rights. I can stay in the property. I can squat. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, while you weren't paying the landlord, you kept your checks. Now what's happening? I'm going to tell you what's happening. They are now going after your checks and you. Listen.
They're being sold to people who don't actually live here. We've told you about the problems with out-of-state landlords for years. And tonight, one local lawmaker says that he really wants to do something about it. Evan Millward is in Coleraine with the plan, and why some actually wanted to go a little bit further. Out-of-state companies are buying homes in bulk here, often with cash. The Port tells me one company alone bought 1,700 homes in Hamilton County just in 2019.
1,700 homes just in 2019. That's right before COVID, right? So that told you that this state and this part of Ohio was crippled. This is a crippling part of Ohio, right? So COVID took it to the next level. It took it to the next level.
There are multiple companies like that. And that means in some cases, tenants are forced out.
I'm the new homeless.
Judith Jones is trying to get what's left from her old house on Woolpert Avenue. She lost her job during the pandemic, got behind on rent, but then got help to pay it back. And then her landlord sold to a company with a New York City address. They told her they were going to flip the house and she had 30 days to get out.
The new homeless is when you're displaced, when you already have somewhere to go and you're already paying bills, but all of a sudden the big corporate companies come in and they take the home.
She sought help from Neighborhoods United.
We can't just live in a world where all of our homes become rental homes because some out-of-town rich investor can afford to purchase it, and that's what they're doing.
That group says it gets multiple calls each day from someone whose landlord sold and they're told to leave.
I think of this as the start of a conversation.
State Senator Louis Blessing III from Coleraine just introduced Senate Bill 334, which focuses on sales from foreclosure. It sets up a 45-day window to give tenants and local nonprofits or municipalities the right of first refusal at a sheriff's sale.
Home ownership in and of itself is a good thing. It's an opportunity.
Okay, that's listen. He's saying that the bill that he's trying to put in place, because it's not in place right now, they bleeding, gives the tenant the first right of purchase, which means you should be able to use what? Divvy. I'm trying to update y'all. I'm trying to keep you in place, because many of you guys may know of somebody or a friend or a family member that this information could be shared with. Please, let's all start trying to help each other. It's not about us. It's about us being able to survive and also save as many as we can. Let me just kind of back place that a little bit.
Ownership in and of itself is a good thing. It's an opportunity to build intergenerational wealth. It helps with family formation.
The port.
Oh my God. He's a Republican in the 8th district. He's a Republican in the 8th district. Now, you think the Democrats want black people to own anything? No. This is a Republican in Ohio. Let's keep going.
In December, bought 194 homes from a bankrupt landlord and is working to help tenants become owners. Its CEO calls profit-focused absentee landlords immoral.
And if we care about neighborhoods being a sense, the people who live in a neighborhood owning their own neighborhood, then we've got to step in and say that's enough.
In Coleraine, I'm Evan Millward, WCPO 9 News. Across our area are being sold to people who don't actually live.
This is the deal. By the way, make sure you follow me on
here.
Facebook.
We've told you about the problems with out-of-state land.
Even though I can't get the damn thing to stop. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, and that's my babies from Mother's Day. Don't they look beautiful? Look, here's the deal. Here's the issue with our people, is that we don't take advantage of the opportunities that are before us. When we see that there are billionaires who are captivating on the poor, and they're going to take advantage of the poor, we think that, oh, the government's going to intervene. The government ain't intervening for us. They're not intervening for us. They're intervening for all the mother foreign people. So if we don't find a way to get legislation to put something in place, I think that's a good bill, because that gives us the first right of refusal. That means that if you're trying to buy the house and someone else is trying to buy from underneath you, you're at least notified. As a tenant, you don't even know when your house is being foreclosed, other than them posting, and you trying to reach your landlord. The landlord doesn't answer. It's sad, but a lot of landlords are stressed because they don't have that money, and a lot of people have to consider that in certain neighborhoods they weren't paying any money. Y'all wasn't paying any money. So again, when we talk about leverage and opportunity and where we are as a country, you keep waiting on this. That ain't gonna happen. The only reparations gonna happen, it starts with you. You are the reparationist. Let me say that again. You are the reparationist. You're the one that has to sit back and make a conscious decision to say, how am I gonna get on in this damn hole that I'm in? But food, water, and shelter. Okay? The first thing you need to do is find shelter and land and opportunities. And I've talked about that. I've talked about that with different videos. Let's hear about Divvy again. Because I talk about Divvy because this is for people who, I'm going to talk about not the worst of the worst, but a lot of us who don't maybe have good credit. Many of you may be out there with about a 550 FICO score, 420 FICO score. But with Divvy, you can do that. Another thing you might want to do, let me do this real quick. You should go to Experian. And let me tell you why Experian works. Experian will help you get your credit straightened out. That is where you need to go. Go to Experian, sign up, and Experian will basically take you to the point where it'll help you clean your credit. That's what I did. I just think about things that I did, and I think about when I made my moves after my divorce. I had to make a conscious decision. I was like, okay, Shirley, what are you going to do? I need to clean my credit up. I was in the 500s. Thank God I'm in the sevens. It took some time, but I did it. But I started with Experian, and it helps boost your credit. It helps you get restructured, and you can get free credit reports. There's a lot of pluses uh, with Experience, and why you should consider their membership and what it entails. Let me kind of show you a video with this one couple I thought was really interesting that shared their opinion on the first thing that you need to do. Because if you realize you below 550, you ain't not gonna be able to get no house with Divvy. Now what do I do? I'm going to the lowest of the low. Here we go.
What does a credit score mean to you? What would you say the definition of a credit score means?
To me, the definition,
Yeah.
my own interpretation would just be the responsibleness of finances.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right. And so the thing is, even if you have, let's say, a lot of credit cards, that doesn't even necessarily mean you're good with your money, does it?
It don't, and then it could be a do. Like I've experienced someone, one of my female friends, her mom wanted to get credit consultant, and I lie to you not, she had 19 credit cards.
Whoa.
And not one of those credit cards had a missed payment or was over 15% utilization. And I was like, whoa. But where she wanted to increase her score, even though the credit cards were in good standing, no missed payments and things like that, she lowered her credit history. So
because she had closed out a credit card.
No, she ain't closed out a credit card, but she have 19. So now, however many years she have, it has to be divided by that 19 and not in counting mortgage or car loan or any other type of loan.
Right.
So, like an example I give, when I talk about credit history, a person can have, let's just say, 10 years. You got 10 years of credit history right now. Tomorrow for lunch, we go to Starbucks. And Starbucks say, hey, we're giving half off on this latte if you open up a Starbucks credit card with us. So you got 10 years of credit history. So when you go to apply for that, they're going to say, oh, man, she a rock star. She got 780 credit score, 10 years of credit history. Oh, this what we want right here. And you get approved. So then when your credit report, not even from Starbucks, because a lot of companies like that, they do soft pulls. But when your credit reports 30 days after that or 45 days after that, your credit history is going to go down. Your credit history is going to go to, just generally speaking, 5 years.
So when we talk about credit score and credit history, it's important. You, first of all, need to look at your credit report. You need to realize there are people who are out here who have, I don't think you need no 45, 19, 17 credit cards, but I do believe you need to understand and not be afraid of it. Sometimes it's the fear of not knowing that holds us back. It's the fear of not having an understanding of that certain things that we do, the certain things that we put before us. Again, the reparation starts with you. You cannot, you got to get out of that government dependent mindset. If you say you're a conservative or you say you want to have more of an ideology of how Trump thinks, Trump is a businessman. You're a business people. But if you don't sit back and at least look at your own life and say, okay, I got some issues I got to work out. And stop focusing on the other stuff that's going on with the death of certain people and stop. Food, water, and shelter. Let's look at the fact that we have credit issues in this country. Let's look at our history as a people, and how do we correct those things? Because there are certain people and certain industries that basically have a better understanding of how to fix credit. But if we don't know how to fix our credit, so the first thing I always say is go to Experian, sign up with Experian, And you will see Experian kind of gives you a understanding of a boost of what you need to do. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I find it was very much worth it for me to do that boost because it made a world of difference. It helped me understand where my credit was. It helped me understand the breakdown of my credit and how to look at my credit report. Many of us don't even look at credit reports. And because we don't look at credit reports and we don't talk about credit report, which is our own credit report, how can we get ahead? You too worried about is it good or bad? Hell, do you understand at least how it works? Do you know how it works? Because that's the beginning of having an understanding of security of finances. You have to leverage, right? And your leverage starts with your credit. Let's look at this real quick.
With credit reports, and they could have a direct impact on your credit score. We're going to unpack these changes for you coming up, so stay tuned. Hey, I'm Talib, and this is His and Her Money, where we are dedicated to helping you take dominion over your money and your life. I don't know if you know this, man, but credit has a major impact on so many areas of our lives. It's way bigger than trying to get a house or trying to get a car. I mean, insurance companies, utility companies, even companies that are looking to hire people are checking credit. So it's super important that we have an eye on our credit and that we're doing all that we can to keep our credit score high. But guess what? There are some changes that are kind of out of our control that are happening with the credit reporting system. And the only way that we can make sure that we are still on top of things for our personal well-being from a credit worthiness standpoint is to know what's happening. And so there are some changes that I want to talk to you about so that you can have an awareness and so that you can move strategically to make sure that you stay on point. The first one I want to tell you about is this. It's a good thing because I don't know if you were aware of this when everything's kind of hot and heavy with what was going on in the world in 2020 and even in 2021. One of the things that the three major credit bureaus did was they made it available for anybody to be able to get a copy of their credit reports on a weekly basis. Now, prior to this shift, you can only get it once a year. Now, there are three major credit bureaus. There are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. And so they had it set up to where you can get one report from each of those bureaus once a year. But with this new change that they put into place, they said you can now check each one on a weekly basis because so much is going on in the world, people losing jobs and all kind of economic things were happening. So they wanted to make it fair and they wanted to make it easy for people to stay on top of their stuff. Now, when they put this into place, it was set to expire April of 2022. But they have now extended it. That's one of the new changes all the way through December of 2022. So if you have been taking advantage of this, or maybe you weren't taking advantage of it because you didn't know about it, you still have time and you can take advantage of getting your credit reports from the three credit bureaus every single week, making sure your stuff is on point, making sure nobody's adding nothing.
Did you hear what that brother said? I know I speeded up because I don't want to be sent through a longer video. He's basically breaking it down for you. The credit bureaus after COVID used to say, oh, once a year you could get a free credit report. He said you can get it weekly now because, there's a lot of people coming here claiming who they are, who they aren't. They could take your identity theft. There's a lot of people flooding here, and some of y'all are sleeping at the wheel, and you might have decent credit and don't realize someone stole your identity. So it is important to do credit check because you'll know what's going on. And those three credit bureaus, like he mentioned, they have it set up till December 2022.
Stay on top of their stuff. Now, when they put this into place, it was set to expire April of 2022. But they have now extended it. That's one of the new changes all the way through December of 2022. So if you have been taking advantage of this, or maybe you weren't taking advantage of it because you didn't know about it, you still have time and you can take advantage of getting your credit reports from the three credit bureaus every single week, making sure your stuff is on point, making sure nobody's adding nothing or taking nothing off that isn't supposed to happen. It's important. You don't know how long it's going to be beyond the extension of December of 2022. So take advantage of it and make sure that your credit reports are on point. The next big change is this. It has to do with buy now, pay later. Research shows that in just the last year, over 100 million people have been using the buy now, pay later models. Various stores and various businesses allow you to purchase things and pay for them in installments. Well, up until this point, those types of accounts were not being shown on credit reports. That's about to change. If you have been buying things by using this buy now, pay later method, it's going to start showing up on your credit report, and it's going to be as a temporary loan. And listen, if you have a lot of these going on, and it's showing up as a bunch of different loans on your credit reports, there is a chance that it can bring down your score because now it's a part of your debt to income, even if it's on there temporarily. And now it's another thing that's showing up on your report, and it's going to weigh down your overall score. So if this has been your jam, if this has been your thing, you may want to consider moving differently because now it can start to have a direct impact on your credit score. Now they are going to be reporting these to all three of the credit bureaus. The next big change is this. The way medical debt is being treated on your credit reports is about to take a major and drastic change. And it starts this summer. Starting on July 1st, the type of medical debt that was turned over to collections but eventually taken care of was still staying on your report. But as of this new change, now that debt will no longer show up on your credit report. Also, as a new change on July 1st is this. You will have a full year to work out with insurance and billing companies when it comes to medical bills that you are issued and that you have to pay. They're giving you 12 months to work things out before it shows up negatively on your credit report. Prior to this new change, they only gave you 6 months to get that negotiated and worked out. Now you have a full 12 months. The next medical debt change that will take place will happen in 2023, and it's this. Any medical debt under $500 will no longer be a part of your credit report and will no longer factor into your credit score. The estimates say that these little tweaks that they're making to how medical debt is reported is going to wipe away about 70% of the medical debt that consumers are currently up against, and that's nothing to
That's really good.
The next big change that you need to know about is when it comes to delinquencies. As it stands right now,
if you had an account that moves into delinquency status, it stays on your credit report for 7 years. Well, the new changes are going to take that waiting period from 7 years down to 4 years. And that can be good news for a lot of people because as soon as that stuff is gone, it helps your credit score as well. Now, this does not apply to bankruptcies. Bankruptcies still, even under these new changes, stay on credit reports for 7 years. The last big change is something that I mentioned at the top, where employers in certain situations have been able to use credit reports to make a determination on whether or not they will hire someone. Well, under these new guidelines, that will no longer be the case. Your credit worthiness will not be able to be a factor as to whether or not you can get hired. If all of the factors are fine and in order, credit worthiness cannot be the thing that disqualifies you moving forward. Well, I hope that this insight helps you to think and move differently, be strategic, because credit is important. It's a part of everyday lives, whether we like it or not. It's here. So be on top of your game. Make sure that you're doing what you have to do to make sure that your credit worthiness is on point and at a place that leaves you in the driver's seat, doesn't leave you struggling or scrambling to try to get things together. That's all we got for this time, guys. Remember, if you love everything that we do here, like this video, comment, and share with a friend. Sharing is caring.
Share with a friend, and I'm sharing with my friends right now. Shout out to this brother. Shout out to his and hers money. He's a great guy. I watched a couple of his videos. He talks about making money, talks about losing money, talks about opportunity through money. I think that this is important that we do this. I think it's important that people get it. Is Elon Musk live? Hold on, y'all. I'm switching.
If your crypto is dependent upon them or any entity that can affect them. So, I think what Jack's doing sounds like a good idea to have.
When y'all have a
There are
chance.
some big changes.
Look, I love watching videos that have to deal with money and opportunity and how to structure ourselves. That's just one I slide over to. Let's go back to credit and housing. Let's talk about Divvy again. So Divvy requires you to have at least a 55 FICO score. You just watched a brother telling you how to clean up your FICO score. Let's hear about the pros and cons to this brother's opinion on it.
What is Divvy program and how does it work? Well, Divvy, of course, is a rent-to-own program. Now, where Divvy differs from what the bank is, it's the qualifications. So traditionally, if you have a credit score high enough and you have funds to close, you would just go get a mortgage, you would purchase a home outright. Well, sometimes you come in a situation where you can't get approved, whether your credit score is a little low right now, or you just don't have funds in order to meet the closing cost requirements for these homes. So that's where Divvy kind of comes in. And for somebody who's in one of those type scenarios, it may be an option for you. So the way the program works is Divvy comes in and you have to qualify, of course. You need to meet the minimum standards, which is at least a 550 FICO score, 6 months job history. You need to make at least $40,000 income. So rent-to-own company, so they check, your background, make sure you haven't had any late payments, any evictions, bankruptcy, things of that nature. So things that they look at, a traditional mortgage may not look at. They just look at the credit score and they look to make sure you have funds to close. And you're probably gonna be squared away. We're in a rent-to-own program. Some things in your past may come back to keep you from getting into a rent-to-own home. So besides all that, once you get qualified, you are approved. Divvy has qualified you for a home. So what is Divvy going to do? You can choose any home in the market as long as it meets the qualifications and the standards that Divvy chooses. So let's just say, for example, you got approved for $200,000. Well, you would contact me, or I would contact you because I'm in communication with you the entire time. We're gonna go shopping for home just like you got a pre-approval from the bank. We're gonna go out. We're gonna find every home that's in the area of your desire within that $200,000 price range. Once we find the house, we're gonna submit that house to Divvy. Divvy's gonna look at that house. They're gonna send their inspectors out. Now, Divvy has to prove to make sure this house is gonna be a house that's gonna be able to be lived in. This can't be a flip home. Can't be a home that's gonna be able to get closed on 6 months from now. It has to be something that's move-in ready. So once they approve on the house, Divvy's gonna put in an offer. Now they're gonna tell you, they're gonna say, hey, this home was listed for $200,000. Now you approved for $200,000, so you can't really wiggle room in that. So you gotta hope that they take cash off. Let's say, for example, the house was listed at like $180,000. Well, Divvy will let you know, hey, the house is listed at $180,000. How much more over $180,000 do you feel comfortable paying? And they'll break down, showing you month to month what you'll be paying based off the new home price. So once you agree to the terms, once you agree to the monthly payment, once you agree to the buyback options they're gonna give you, because they're gonna give you 2 buyback options. One buyback option is gonna be after 1 year. The next buyback option is going to be at 3 years. So they're going to be 2 different prices. Of course, the 1 year is going to be less than the 3 years because home values go up over time. So once you agree to all of that, all those numbers out the way, the home, you'll be able to open that home within 2 weeks. Divvy's going to close the home, the cash deal, they're going to purchase the home for you. You're going to move in and you're going to make your monthly payments every single month. Now, disclaimer that there is a higher monthly fee associated with Divvy from what I've seen with the rental market. The rental market is high, but Divvy is a little higher than what I see. But 25% of what you're paying is towards an equity fee. So what the equity payment. So what the equity payment is basically your built-in savings plan. So the way.
Okay, so let me slow down. I want to stop here so that you guys have an understanding of what this brother is saying. Because what he's telling you is that when you purchase a Divvy home, your payments are going to be higher than what would normally be higher than. It's not going to be higher than what you're used to. It's going to be higher than what the price is because Divvy, of course, takes a percentage of when you do have the home finally transferred in your name. And Divvy also sets it up where that they put money into like a savings account. He's about to share that right now. They take part of what you pay monthly towards them so that you have enough money down to go ahead and get that FHA loan, which will help you qualify maybe 2 or 3 years down the road.
paying is towards an equity fee. So what that equity payment. So what that equity payment is basically your built-in savings plan. So the way Divvy is trying to force you to save for your home to be able to buy that home back for them is they're putting in a 25% savings into your payment. So they're making you save. So at the end of 1 year or 3 years, you should have a little nest egg that's enough for you to purchase the home back from them without having to worry about where am I going to get the money for closing costs. Because at the end of the 1 year or 3 years, you're going to have to apply for a mortgage, and you're going to have to qualify for a mortgage, and you're going to have to purchase the home back for them. Otherwise, the home will go back on the market. The money you save does go back to you, but if they have to relist or you choose to leave the home and not move forward after the 3 years is up, you'll get your money back except for the 2% relisting fee. They'll take 2% of your equity payment and they'll relist the home, and then you'll walk away with the rest of your money. So that's basically how the Divvy program works. They're essentially like a cash buy. So if you are in a situation where you do not have the funds for closing costs and you definitely see a home out there that you like, that you want to make sure you can snatch up before it's gone, and then you may get a program for you. But if you're in a situation where things are kind of tight, you're not comfortable really paying over a certain amount, you can wait. You don't really know where you want to be at. This is probably not a program for you. You have to be certain in a program like this. So anybody who needs more information on this program, please feel free to reach out to me, because this program is not for everybody, but it's definitely going to help some people and assist some people into becoming homeowners before they would be ready otherwise. So
I totally agree. I think that it's definitely a program that can work for you and take you to the next level. Another thing I wanted to talk to you about was land ownership. When you own land, the good thing about land ownership is that you can grow your own vegetables. And many people don't realize that we're living in times where we're talking about inflation. We're talking about food inflation. Hold on. There it is. Food and inflation that we're about to embark upon. And so I want to show you this product, which I thought was great, that was shown on Shark Tanks. And I think that people should consider doing. If you say, I don't have a lot of land, but I need to do something with this land, and I want to grow my own vegetables. Again, food, water, and shelter. I'm just showing you little tips and bits, and hopefully you guys like the stuff I'm sharing that I like. But for those who don't have a lot of land, but want to try something different, this little story of what this product does is amazing. Listen to this.
Next up is a way to make growing your own food more fun and convenient. Hi, Sharks. My name is Cam Kugler. I'm a Vermont entrepreneur from Middlebury, Vermont, here seeking $500,000 for 10% equity in my startup, Seed.
Hold on. I have a problem with this video. I don't know. I like the quality of it. I think that's the only one. Anyway, let's keep going.
Seed Sheet can make anyone into a gardening guru. People want to eat delicious food and feel confident that they're feeding themselves and their family healthy, natural, and ethically sourced ingredients. So my company hacked horticulture and combined algorithms with agriculture to create a product that turns anyone into a successful farmer. No overhauls required. The Seed Sheet features a weed-blocking fabric that's embedded with an arrangement of dissolvable pouches, each containing a buffer of soil and organic non-GMO seeds. Simply unroll the seed sheet on top of prepared soil, add water, and watch as the pouches dissolve, the seeds sprout, and you convert your windowsill into your own personal farmer's market. Customers can either buy pre-portioned recipe kits like cocktail, hot sauce, herbs, salad, taco, or design their own custom seed sheets. We're not meal delivery, we're farm delivery. So Sharks, who wants to fertilize seed sheets and help grow the future of food? In fact, I'm so confident in my product that I invited Dan from Record Setter here today so we can set a world record. Mark, can you please join me up here? Okay. What am I doing? Today, Dan? Well, Mark, you're going to be attempting a brand new Record Setter world record for the fastest time to precision plant 7,000 seeds. Oh, okay. So what we're going to have you do, Mark, is to go on that side and on Dan's command, start to first put that seed sheet on top of
the garden bed and roll it in one smooth.
Why does it smell
trajectory.
so strong?
I might be a Vermontrepreneur, but I'm also an entrepreneur.
And go.
Come on.
Now I'm making you watch this because I want you to see this is all seeds. You can do this in your backyard. You can have a little pot area. You guys need to get prepared. You need to prepare yourself for some natural herbs and opportunities, because if the stores get to the point you can't get nothing to buy, what are you going to do?
Over a little bit. We have to get them all on the soil. Come on over a little bit. And there you go. We're good. Oh my gosh. Come on here. Did I get it? I'm thrilled to announce that we have set a brand new record setter world record for the fastest time to precision plant 7,000 seeds, 14.15 seconds.
Let me show you another part of the video. I love that video. Let's see,
Meet Cameron, who, believe it or not, his mother's name is Jane and his dad's name is Rudolph. So
got a deal.
You already, Cameron. Lori, your eyes are sparkling. You are so excited about this big launch on QVC.
I am, because many of you may know secretly, like, I love to grow things, but I don't ever get to do it. And Cam comes into the Shark Tank and he's got like the coolest, easiest, most wonderful way to grow stuff. And I'm like, I'm in. That's mine. I had to control my enthusiasm. But why are we so excited? This is Cam, first of all. I call him like the garden whisperer, okay? So just remember that. He is the garden whisperer because he created the coolest thing. If you look right down here in front of me, there are different sets here. There are 2 for flowers. And then over on this side, there's herbs, salad, and caprese. So what does that mean? What it means is, Jane, that if you look at this in my hand right here, this sheet, he has arranged strategically. This is a weed blocking fabric. Each one of these is a different herb, all strategically placed to grow perfectly and fantastically together. And then you are getting this bag right here, which is serving as your pot. You put dirt in. You lay this sheet on top. This is called like, it's like for no brainer, right? You put this on top. Now you can see it right there. You have the little holder right here on the bottom for water, and then you just water it. That's it. Now you're gonna have, let's say, chives, basil,
sorrel, parsley, cilantro.
Everything, and it looks like this within just a matter of weeks. And then you go and you snip your basil and everything to eat right into your kitchen. But wait, there's so many choices here. Jane's going to tell you.
$24.96, and I want you to see what you're getting. So over here is salad. And Cam, you've chosen some wonderful different salad greens for this one, right?
Yes, so you have your pea shoots, you have radishes, you have your beet greens, arugula, spinach,
and they're all here. So cut and eat, and then it grows right back. So you can keep feeding yourself and your family fresh, healthy, right grown, which is the best tasting, just by walking out to your deck, your patio, or wherever.
And then the next one is caprese. I mean, everybody loves it. Just add a little mozzarella and you're good to go, right?
And look at these tomatoes, Jane. Brian, look at these. I know you want one, right, Brian? Look at these tomatoes. Gorgeous. This has only been growing for a handful of weeks, and already tomatoes, the basil, again, just walk out, snip, but you don't have to do anything, but basically put dirt in this, water it, lay down the sheet. That's it.
Okay, this is, I think, the money saver right here, Cam. This is herbs. Like, if you, and many of you are getting more than one, but everybody at least needs to get that one, don't you think?
Oh my God,
definitely. I mean, this has all your most popular herb varieties out there. And if you go to the store and you buy your little box of herbs, you bring it home, it's going to be really delicious for a few days before it starts wilting. So with this, you can pick it any day you want.
And you know, I'm a terrible gardener.
I wish we had smell-o-vision.
And Cam has absolutely, I was just thinking the other day, we should do an herb garden on the deck. And my husband looks at me like, really?
Okay, so now listen. Food, water, and shelter. That's what we're talking about. Talking about how Trump is basically revolutionized America by having us think about family first, right? Opportunities first. We talked about housing. Now we're talking about food. This is a great way to start, people. If you say, you know what, I don't grow things, I don't have a big backyard, you can start you can buy in the pod. As you can see, they have the longer sheets that you can go out and you can buy. This is an opportunity for you to learn to grow. Many of us we're not farmers. Anybody in there a farmer? We didn't grow up on farms. And so how do we start?
Yeah, you can.
How are we able to take care of ourselves? Well, you start with little stuff like that. I like showing little stuff like that because I think it makes the world a difference. The more that we learn, the more we grow. Because it's good information. Absolutely, Caroline, it's good information. Oh, good. I'm glad you did. I love the Trump rally. I think the Trump rally was great. I think Trump is motivating people. I think he's informing people of how this country is ran and how foreign affairs have really affected our pocketbooks on a local level. And that if we continue to give so much help to somebody else, I don't know where we're going to be at 3 years from now. But right now, tonight, we're just talking about preparation and opportunity. I really appreciate you guys chiming in. I hope that you take the time to go to Cal Texas Homes. Again, we're not just talking about moving to California. Many of you guys don't realize that in this country, food, God, family, and country, food, water, and shelter is so important. And if I can provide you with different ways to prevent you from being homeless, from being all of a sudden displaced like we saw earlier on that video, and that you take the time to love you. If you don't take the time to love you, nobody's going to love you. If you don't take the time to have an opportunity to confirm how you're thinking and where you stand, it's a failure within ourselves. It's the basic steps, right? These baby steps build confidence. I love it. Absolutely. So sweet. Thank you so much, because it's sometimes the small steps that we don't do that we could do impact our lives, right? Especially finding kindred spirit, family members that really set the tone of how we feel. Let me show you, talk about growing. I really want to take you to the website of the seed pod. I love that seed pod situation. I don't know about y'all, but that excites me. I'm definitely going to be getting some of those and testing them out. And maybe I'll show you guys something in the future about that. And because you want to grow healthy and healthy and warm opportunities. Hold on. Okay, here it is. Right now, during the month of May, they're offering 25% off. These are the seed pods. These are the guidelines. Right? It says shop now. Let's shop now. Let's see what we can get. Basil, big supply of basil. Is this the same one? I think so, yeah. Look at that. Blocks out everything, so I guess basil's in right now. Superfoods. Superfoods. Okay, here we go. Wow, okay. You can pick your own pots and how you want to place them. They've got tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. Y'all see that? Broccoli, lettuce, and corn. Now, let's keep going. Girls, see the larger plants. Let's keep going. Watermelon. All you people love watermelon. Peppers, some more tomatoes, cauliflower, jalapenos. You make your own. You just start dropping them in there. Look at that. Look at that. Cantaloupe, squash, summer squash, broccoli. Look at that. Look at that. And then you add them and create your own pods. Look, you make your own pods. Make your own. I want to add this one. I want to add. I'm just gonna make up something. I'm gonna add some pumpkin. Look, and you end up making a pod. And then there's stories. Look at this. Stories of people who did it in their backyards. It was easy, they said. They just basically set up those beds. See how they set those beds up? Kept them little creatures from trying to come in there and eat them up. After they set up the beds, they set up the little area of a wall. Look at these people. I'm telling you. There's no reason why y'all can't do this. And then the little things start growing. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this. Okay, now that's the bigger ones. Now you might say, I can't afford no $130. Let me test this out. Some of the smaller plants, just the herbs one, the round ones you put on your little desk. I really want you guys to be healthy. I really want you to have opportunities that you never thought about having. And that's meaning get off your butt, think of places that you can go and make a difference. I bought a dehydration. Oh, yeah, those are great too. The dehydrators, oh my God, right? Because, worst case scenario, who knows what's going to happen in this country? So you're growing your fresh vegetables and fruits, but let's say there's a water shortage and you're not able to grow like you used to. Well, if you get a dehydrator, and a dehydrator makes a world of difference, you can dehydrate your vegetables and can them, and that's also really good. Another cheap thing, I was looking at the other day. Let me show you this one. Another way, again, we're talking about affordable food. Hold on. Oh, I had it. Let me tell you something that I learned online that many of you guys should be doing. That's an easy recipe, and that's granola. And I say granola because we talk about first we're talking about fresh vegetables, but we can talk about dry foods, easy components of dry food that can make a world of difference. But if you're not conscious of the fact that you can do it yourself, sometimes we think I can't do this. You can prepare. You can always prepare. It's how you structure
The
it.
treat here is in that little baby, honey. So that sweetens it. So just start off with 200 ml of delicious honey into a pan, just to warm up. In she goes. Now, I know these are a chef's favorite, but it makes all the difference, especially for breakfast. A fresh vanilla pod. And I think of the way that I use herbs to add flavor to soups and salads. I like to think that vanilla does exactly the same. Scrape out all those wonderful seeds in. Now, the staple, vanilla, the oats. Next, have rice.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk for him. Okay, when you take the granola, as you can see, he's adding all these different nuts, and he's adding a lot of he'll add the oats, he'll add the nuts, he'll add butter, he'll add you can go to this video, and he'll add honey, and then after he adds it all, he lays it on a tray. He lays it on the tray, and then he bakes it in the oven. Right? He adds a little salt because with the sweetness you need to add a little salt. And he put corn puffs. I don't like corn puffs, so I kind of left that out of my recipe. And he puts it in the oven for about 30 minutes, waits till it's golden brown. Some people say 15, toss it, bring it back in. And then guess what? It can store up in your cabinets. They're claiming for a week to 2 weeks. He adds fresh cranberries and some other type of nuts into them that are very good. Berries, it's not nuts, berries. You add your berries afterwards because if you add them while they were cooking, of course, they would burn really quickly, especially with the sugar content. You take this, you can it, boom, dry food. Dry food, people. Come on now, I just showed you fresh food and dry food. You can't get any better than that. Fresh food and dry food. Let's try another one. That's my little Italian lady. She's good to watch. Let's see.
Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make homemade granola. Not granola bars. I've already done an episode on that, so you should go ahead and check it out if you're interested. This is just play with whatever you...
Hold on. Let's turn her volume down. Again, some people, they take the oats, they go ahead and they add cinnamon, they add nutmeg, they add nuts, Some people use coconut oil, some people use olive oil, but I've seen that the consistency in these videos have been basically a lot of coconut oil and honey. I watched one lady, she made granola with whites. She made egg whites. I thought that was interesting because she wanted to make it sugar free. To combine them together, she adds vanilla extract, excuse me, and again, the oil, the honey, and the combination with the fresh nuts, and then you just lay it on a tray. Now, this is a very simple recipe. You can see she has almonds and walnuts in there, and she laid it on a tray. Some other people do parchment paper. After you just lay it on a tray, you just bake it. So you've got your fresh herbs. Now you learn how to do with some dry foods. And granola is one of the best ways. It's a cheap way to eat. You don't have a lot of money, right? Then after it's finished baking, again, same simple recipe. You go in there and you get your cranberries, or you say, you know what, I want to add some raisins, all your little berries, and you turn that all up in there. Really easy to do. It's a great, you know what's interesting about granola? Granola hot is good. Like if you have some heavy cream, some granola, and then you add some fresh fruit, it's wonderful. You know what you end up doing? Put it up here on the side, and instead of snacks for your kids, the granola would be helpful. So I'm just thinking, I love granola. I think it's a good. It's also, it can be careful, it could be fattening, but sometimes I think the problem with a lot of us, we don't have enough fiber. So sometimes we think it's fattening, but it's a great superfood. It holds up overnight, and a lot of people mix them with their yogurts. Another situation where you can mix them with your yogurts later on and make good cereals. It's a lot of things to learn about granola that's really, really good, which I really love. I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else I was going to share with you guys. I think you're great. I think that if we understand that if we take the time to put ourselves aside and identify where we're coming from, that we see the opportunities that are before us, we just have to reach for them. Have communication, talk to each other, and I think that's a good thing. And I appreciate you chiming in. I appreciate you guys giving me your input on where we are. Um, there are a lot of scams, but I think you have to do your homework. Have to do your homework. We cannot see the homes. Oh, I fixed that. Thank you for letting me know that. I did fix that. I think the key thing that we have to keep in mind is that if we want to own a home, we can. If we don't want to own a home, at least do a rent to own. If we don't do a rent to own, then we need to relocate. We need to identify the cost of living, how much you're paying for electric, light, and gas. Do you understand what your credit is? Are you going to Experian? I showed the Experian video. Again, go to Experian. Go to these credit bureaus that will help you see what your credit is. Sit down and highlight, okay, this is what I did wrong. This is what I did right. Don't live in fear. That's the number one thing I want to encourage you to do in life. Don't live in fear. If you don't confront your fears, you'll never confront anything. So you're the biggest cheerleader for you. Ain't nobody going to cheer you on your opportunities or your vision but you, because there's too many other people cheering against you if you allow it to happen. When you're in a room, you should light up the room. You should be the one that everyone's so excited to see. If you enter a room, family members, friends are somewhere, and you're not welcome, you're not loved, people don't understand you, they criticize you, and they constantly want to have combative conversations, displacing you in your energy, you need to get away from that. You need to go away from all these people that don't understand where you're coming from, where you want to go, where you want to accomplish. You ready to realize also that we're living in times where food is going to become costly. Gas is not going down. Rates are going up. Scams are coming back again. The housing scams coming back again. You see, I just showed you that video of Ohio in the 9th district where this woman is saying, look, we have a displacement of folks that are about to occur because these people were not making payments, and bulk sales of houses are occurring and are rising up. And they can also happen in your community. You're also living with a flex of communities like California and New York, where the congressional seats are losing them because people are moving out. Migration is real, people. Movement is real. Are you going to watch everybody in your community that you used to know and love move out? Are you delusional, living in a city where you say, oh, it's going to come back. I remember when LA was such and such. This is only a season. You're a delusional person. Because by the time you wake up, you're not going to be able to afford to even do Dippy. You're going to be renting the rest of your life. You don't need to be renting. You need to own land, plant food, be able to maintain your lifestyle, and be prepared. Be prepared for whatever reason you need to be prepared. Be the sound-minded person in your family. When everybody else is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, stupid, dumb, liberal, crazy, whatever they are, you don't have to be them. You can be a person and say, you know what, I'm not going to have that kind of mindset. I am focusing on you. I know God is my provider. He's Jehovah Jireh. So I want to leave you with a good note in this. I want you to learn to pray. I want you to learn to focus. I want you to learn to do things, ritual that make you say good things to yourself. I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. I'm highly intelligent. I can get your job done. God has got great things going on in my life. If you don't speak life to yourself, you are going to die. If you operate under a fear mentality, you are going to die. If you watch all this crazy ass news every day, if you watch the videos of people who are dying in black communities that continue to tear each other up, and black family first ain't even on their priority list. Why are we all still talking about this dead man who was not black family first, didn't pay his child support, and y'all know exactly who I'm talking about. And I see these black men mourning over him and black women hating them. How is that going to pay your bills? How's that going to move you forward? It's not. What will move you forward is your forward-thinking person. On the spiritual aspect, you've got to understand soul, body, and mind. You've got to be able to have a spirit that connects to God, to hear God, to commune with God. I take communion every day, and if I don't keep it every day, I do it every other day. And I know there's black people that don't believe in God and Christ. That's your thing. That's not my thing. My thing is I know that I need to have a spiritual balance in my life. You need to be quiet. You need to meditate. Find meditation videos. Find YouTube videos that help you sleep at night. Let me show you a sleep to YouTube video. And many of you guys are saying, well, you know, how do I meditate, Shirley? I don't do no meditation. Or I'm a Christian. Do Christians meditate? Well, the Bible talks about meditating on the Word of God. The Bible talks about that. But so many times we don't meditate because we're too busy in the rat race. This is a rat race running world. And it'll keep you running. Now, I'm not going to play it because I know it's got music behind it. But this tape here is a healing video. This is what you play all night. It's 6 hours long. Starts off real bright. And then it just talks. Let's see if it'll talk.
They might feel completely safe and secure in Jesus' name. Do you feel his presence, his protection, his safety? Breathe deeply now, in and out, relaxing even more in the presence of God. Trust the Lord to send his angels to keep watch over you. Allow yourself to imagine guardian angels in the room with you. They are there to protect you so that you can rest easily. Feel the warmth of the covers and the softness of the pillow as you sink deeper into peaceful relaxation.
It's one of my favorite videos. And then she constantly repeats Psalm 91. Psalm 91 is a warrior prayer. It's a prayer of healing. As you get further into the video, look, it goes black. So you might say, oh, it's too bright in my room. Look.
We will find rest beneath your wings. We glory in your presence.
So it goes black, which I love that too, because then I wake up and I go, oh my God, it went black. All these different videos. Abide is probably my favorite one. This one shows to me as, but Abide is probably one of my favorite ones. So let me go back one more time. I'm sorry about that. Whoops.
Find rest for your soul as you listen to this peaceful Bible.
Okay, make sure you guys go and join Abide. Sleep meditation. You know, some of them are longer, 8 hours. Some of them are 3 hours. Take the time and meditate. Take the time and meditate. That'll overcome your fears and your failures. And then you have clarity. It'll help you have clarity. Psalms 91. Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lay my head down in green pastures. Many of you guys don't lay your head in green pastures because you live in a city with all that chaos around it. He restoreth my soul. Another thing you can do is just go to a local park. Find your little local park. And you say, what is the local park going to do for me, Shirley? The local park will help heal you because you take your feet and you elevate that into the ground. And if you look at a local park, you take that park and you sit in the park. It sounds a little cuckoo, but I'm telling you, find you a nice little park, sit in the park. Find that moment where you say, you know what, I just need to rest. I need to find that green pasture, because guess what? You live in a city. There are no parks. You live in cities where there's no parks. Well, if you live in cities that are no parks, you find you a park and you sit in that city. Here's New York, right? You're sitting in this park and you're meditating. You find that quiet moment. You're identifying that to bring that balance of physical, you need that mental clarity. You've got that spiritual clarity because you've been praying, but you need that mental clarity because you need to be in an environment where you're having clarity. That'll prepare you for the following week. That'll prepare you for the next day. It's all important. It's all of what we need to do as a people. One that identifies the importance of who we are and where we want to go. Carolyn says, I agree. If you don't own the roof you live in, control your rent. That's true. You'll always be moving. Oh, and you're moving because you're subject to somebody else's season, right? Exactly. It's totally agree. Totally agree. I'm so glad that people are watching right now that agree with me, because there's some people who don't, and they rather spend time talking about gossip and all this other stuff. I'm talking about survival, because you don't have Trump in office right now. You have an administration that's constantly devaluing this country. It's a treasonous administration. It's an administration that's making a lot of people angry. I don't have time, nor do you, to live in the anger. I don't have time, nor do you, to worry about all the immigration, the migration, the trade issues, even all the stuff Trump had mentioned, and God bless him. But we're not at that level, people. We're at the survival game. So hopefully the tips that you got tonight will take you to that next level. And then you can take all this good news, all this good information that you're able to gather from Divi to the seed pod, to the meditation, to the housing, to you even looking at your own credit and saying, you know what, I got to work on my credit. I got to work on my life. At least look at yourself. Look at yourself in the mirror from a spiritual, mental, and physical point of view, and take what you see and do something good with it. And if you don't like it, change it. And if you're not perfect, ain't the end of the world. But stop speaking death to yourself. Speak life to yourself. Because more life that you speak, the more promise you have, the more future you will have. Make sure you guys follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And make sure that you continue to like and share this video. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your input. Thank you, President Trump, for coming out to Austin, Texas. Continue, Trump, to do what you've been doing, which is letting America know that it has the opportunity to be made great again. Even with this administration, I want people to feel hopeful and not hopeless. And there's people like President Trump and me and you that are out there having an identification of who we are and where we need to be. Because if we don't, then we fail ourselves. Blessings, my family. Good night.